new day dawning or storm clouds coming. This too shall pass. How I feel about relationships with individuals and couples that come into my office. And if it leads to a divorce, then we use all the skills we've already used, the compassionate communication, empathy, and mediation, and help them peacefully and respectfully restructure. So what do you do when you're faced with clients that really don't know what they want to do? I want you to remember that it's not what you're doing, it's who you are being. And Wayne Dyer has said, when we change the way we look at something, what we look at changes. So when we're in self, we're calm when chaos is around us, clear about our role in bringing peace, compassionate to everyone in our office, confident about our ability to be of service, connected to your higher self, whatever that means, courageous no matter what our clients are doing in conflict mode, creative to find a peaceful resolution, and curious about others and their needs, those 8 C words that Dick talks about of self-leadership. But we're not always in self. We have different parts. And IFS calls parts the protective aspects of ourselves with certain behaviors, beliefs, and burdens. Is that we're not just the drop in the ocean, we're the entire ocean in the drop. And our egos keep crashing into things, but our soul is always peace. And I do believe when we're in self, we were born enlightened. And all we have to do is let go of what we think we already know. Give up those judgments. And a client who's in self is also in those C words. They can make clear decisions. They can be compassionate for themselves and each other. They can ask for what they need. They can stay connected to the process without zoning out or needing to hire a lawyer take over and have animosity there. They can be courageous no matter what's happening. They can co-create reasonable compromises and be curious about options and resolutions. And when a client's not in self, they're either acting like a victim, which there's an exiled feeling of sadness, or an aggressor, they're getting extreme, or they codependently act nice to manage, but secretly is furious and can't participate because they feel so overwhelmed, betrayed, retributive, fearful, or depressed. Now, one last breath here while we talk about the first session. Here we go. And when I say the first session, this is good with your clients now. So even if you've got clients that you've been working with and just want to bring some of these tools in with them, or you're talking to an individual or couple online, oftentimes they will try to ignore what the real issue is. And getting them to talk about it is often a challenge. And I'm going to show you how to do that in the initial interview. And they're all imprisoned by their stories. We all are. This is Alcatraz. I took it from a boat in San Francisco. But we can let our stories go and be free. Because our parents and caregivers did the best they could according to their level of awareness at the time. I like this cartoon. If you notice, it's a convention of children from functional families. And it says that you've done the best you know how to do and now you can do better. But if you see in the convention, there's only one person there, because I think we all have some kind of dysfunction in our families. We all have families, even perfect families, put the impetus on having to be perfect, and therefore it's an issue. So my family of origin, I had a very loving family, but my father was manic depressive, so he yelled a lot. And I grew up to be a very high functioning codependent. I was afraid of anger. I was afraid of my father's anger. I was afraid of my anger. I was afraid of my husband's anger. And so when I was separating and getting divorced, I didn't know how to advocate for myself. And understanding my inner child and taking better care of her was part of my growth process. And it helps when you know that you deserve to get your needs met, that the first step, remember what you want to need. We help our clients remember, because often they forget what they want to need. They think about what they don't want. We help them know how to deserve it, which means we might have to do some unburdening of some of the exiles carrying some old messages. And when they can remember what they want and need and know they deserve it, they learn how to ask for it. So it's not a whine or a demand or an ultimatum. It's a simple request. and then they can be willing to receive and stay grateful.